Why are we so fascinated by people who break the rules? The outlaw, the rebel, the anti-hero, the mysterious stranger who walks confidently through chaos. We know they aren't perfect. Sometimes they're dangerous. Sometimes morally ambiguous. Yet we can't look away. From Hollywood films to Greek mythology, from classic literature to modern K-pop, artists continue returning to the same figure. The one who refuses to be ordinary, the one society labels bad. But perhaps these stories aren't really about becoming bad. Perhaps they're about confronting something hidden inside ourselves. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung believed every human being carries an unseen companion, a part of ourselves we hide, a part we fear, a part we rarely acknowledge. He called it the shadow. Today, we'll explore Jung's shadow through one of the most intriguing artistic themes in modern pop culture. Inspired by ATEEZ Bad, Part 1. What is the shadow? When people hear the word shadow, they often imagine evil, darkness, violence, cruelty. But that isn't what Jung meant. For Jung, the shadow is simply everything we refuse to recognize about ourselves, the emotions we suppress, the desires we deny, the qualities we believe society won't accept. It may include anger, ambition, jealousy, pride, impulsiveness, but it can also contain confidence, creativity, passion, leadership, even courage. Anything we reject can become part of the shadow. Imagine a child who is constantly told, "Don't be angry." Eventually, that child learns not to express anger. But the anger doesn't disappear. It simply moves beneath consciousness. The shadow grows, not because it is evil, but because it remains unseen. Part 2. Why Bad Feels Liberating. This is where songs like ATEEZ Bad become psychologically fascinating. Rather than simply presenting a rebellious image, the song plays with ideas of confidence, temptation, intensity, and unapologetic self-expression. It invites us into a world where social restraint momentarily loosens, where instinct speaks louder than expectation. This doesn't necessarily mean the song encourages destructive behavior. Instead, it creates a symbolic space where emotions that are often restrained can be imagined safely. Art has always done this. It gives us permission to experience what everyday life often asks us to suppress. Part 3. The persona and the mask. Jung believed we wear psychological masks. He called this the persona. Every day, we adapt ourselves at work, with family, among strangers. We present the version of ourselves that society expects. The persona is necessary. Without it, social life would become impossible. But problems arise when we mistake the mask for our entire identity. Art offers a rare opportunity. For a few minutes, we remove the mask, not by becoming someone else, but by exploring forgotten parts of ourselves through imagination. That is one reason music can feel so emotionally powerful. It doesn't merely entertain us. It allows us to experiment psychologically. Part 4. Why we enjoy bad characters. Think about some of the most memorable characters in fiction. The charismatic villain, the clever thief, the rebellious hero, the outlaw who refuses to follow society's rules. These figures appear across cultures and across centuries. Why? Because they represent possibilities. Not necessarily actions, but emotions, freedom, fearlessness, confidence, power. They embody qualities many people admire but hesitate to express themselves. Watching them doesn't mean we want to imitate everything they do. Instead, we safely experience those qualities through narrative. Psychologists call part of this process identification. We temporarily imagine ourselves in another person's emotional world. Another important process is projection. Sometimes, the qualities we admire or strongly dislike in fictional characters reveal aspects of ourselves that we haven't fully acknowledged. Then comes catharsis. Art provides emotional release. It allows us to confront conflict without real-world consequences. That is one reason music, films, and stories can leave us feeling strangely transformed. Part 5. This isn't just K-pop. The same psychological pattern appears everywhere. Greek mythology gave us Prometheus, who defied the gods. Literature gave us Heathcliff, Captain Ahab, and countless tragic anti-heroes. Modern cinema gives us characters like the Joker, Walter White, and many others who blur the line between admiration and discomfort. These stories endure because they speak to something universal. Every culture creates characters who challenge order, not because society celebrates destruction, but because human beings continually wrestle with the tension between conformity and individuality. ATEEZ's Bad belongs to this much older tradition. It becomes one more artistic expression of humanity's fascination with the hidden self. Carl Jung once wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Perhaps that is the real lesson behind works like Bad. Psychological growth doesn't happen because we pretend our darker impulses don't exist. It happens when we acknowledge them, understand them, and choose consciously how to live with them. The shadow is not our enemy. Ignoring it is, because the parts of ourselves we refuse to face often become the parts that control us. Art reminds us of this, not by giving us easy answers, but by inviting us into conversations with ourselves. Maybe that's why songs like Bad resonate so deeply. Not because they tell us to become someone else, but because they encourage us to ask a more difficult question. Who am I when I stop pretending to be only the good parts of myself? If this journey into psychology, storytelling, and symbolism resonated with you, subscribe to The Narrative Mind. Here, every film, every novel, every song, and every story becomes a window into the human mind. Because every narrative tells two stories, the one we witness and the one unfolding within us.